This is crazy what's going on right now. I can't even believe that this is a real story right now. But CDC just make it easier for Americans to die from opioid overdoses. Everything that's been coming out of the CDC lately, in the past few years, has been showing me that they really does not have people's real health at heart. Everything that leads me to that conclusion. But I'm talking about the opioid crisis right now. I'm not getting into any of that other, um, some of the other stuff that the CDC been saying. If you want to know about that, you can check out my Patreon to find out what I believe about that. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. When you hit that alarm bell, you can change it from you can change it. Oh wow, I got my gloves on. I don't know. You can change it from personal to all. That way, you get all the notifications for when I'm putting out stuff. And also check out my link tree in the description. Has a link to my Patreon that I just alluded to, where I talk about things I can't talk about here. Growing a great community over there of like-minded individuals where we can talk about some of this more spicy stuff. And there's also a link to my Instagram where I put out even more news throughout the day. So check that out as well. All right, let's talk about this unbelievable news here. Um, the nation's top public health agency on Thursday softened its guidelines for U.S. doctors prescribing oxycodone and other opioid painkillers. I mean, people know how bad the opioid crisis is right now. You think they wouldn't take the time right now to loosen up some of their rules and regulations? This is not the right time when we have people just dying from the opioid crisis right now. What is the CDC really thinking? But the Center for Disease Control and Prevention new recommendations are an update to the 2016 guidelines that added momentum to decline in opioid painkiller prescriptions. Opioid painkillers can be addictive even when used under doctor's order, and were identified as a big reason for the rise in U.S. drug overdoses that began more than 2 decades ago. Other drugs have overtaken them in overdose statistics, and illicit fentanyl is now the biggest driver of death. And that's but that does not give you leeway to give people more opioids just because people are dying more from fentanyl. Opioid is still a big deal. But the previous guidelines succeeded in reducing inappropriate and dangerous prescribing, some experts say. But they also were seen as a barrier to care, with some pharmacists refusing to fill prescriptions as doctors wrote them. Now, I disagree with. If your doctor believes you write you a prescription, if your doctor writes you a prescription, the pharmacist, I don't get why the pharmacist would refuse to fill that prescription. But it should be some strict guidelines on that. But the new guidelines are designed to ensure that patients get compassionate and safe pain care, CDC officials said. A draft released in February received 5,500 public comments. Some modifications were made, but several main changes stayed in place, including the CDC no longer suggests trying to limit opioid treatment for acute pain to 3 days. The agency is dropping the recommendation that doctors avoid increasing dosage to a level equivalent to 90 milligrams of morphine per day. For patients receiving higher doses of opioids, the CDC is urging doctors to not abruptly halt treatments unless there is indications of life-threatening danger. The agency offers suggestions on tapering patients off the drug. But all in all, I mean, I don't get it. It's like they're intentionally trying to harm people or put people in harm's way. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe y'all have a different take than what I do. But let me know what you think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out themarkrepublics.com for the latest in news. Until next time. Peace.